What is up, beautiful people of the XRP community? Welcome back to another daily crypto upload. I want to talk about an ex-banker and his opinion on why XRP and XLM are the future. Also, a little bit of an update on the news that came out 2 days ago about the SEC rejecting the motion for appeal. I did cover this Jeremy Hogan tweet saying that it's a disaster for the agency, but more lawyers have tuned in. In an October 3rd post, Shapiro said that while the SEC's motion for an appeal had been denied, the SEC still can appeal this case later. He says, don't get too excited about the denial of this SEC's appeal in Ripple. It doesn't mean that the SEC lost its appeal. It means that if the SEC wants to appeal it, it has to appeal everything at once after the trial. Scott Chamberlain, an entrepreneurial fellow at the ANU College of Law, explained the decision may prove more significant for Ripple than others are willing to give credit for. He says, and I quote, "Yes, the SEC can appeal later, but it is stuck with a crappy factual record that makes successful appeal much more difficult." If you guys can take a moment to hit that like button, I love you. I respect you for it. Get it into the algorithm. Thank you in advance. It's the best way to support the channel, and it's free. Chamberlain added that any future appeal from the commission would most likely be heard in the Supreme Court. Maybe we see the deletion of the Howey test, and for the digital world, we replace it with the Ripple test. It might be heard in the Supreme Court as there are no major legal questions left to decide. All that's left is the difficult but ultimately mundane task of applying known law to a complicated fact matrix that does not support the SEC's claim. Moving forward, guys, from this banker, and before I break this down, if you guys need a spot to get XRP or Flare, I recommend Uphold. It's sleek, it's simple, it's secure. It's where I dollar cost average to get my XRP and Flare daily. A link to Uphold in the video description below. So let's see what this banker has to say about XRP and XLM. He says, I worked in banking for 4 years, not the longest by any means, but more than enough to see the issues with legacy finance, process payments, execute payment ledgers, and maintaining accounts and balancing. Here's why I think XRP and XLM will disrupt payments. As we all know, legacy banking, incredibly slow and efficient. International payments can take up to 2 days, with costs sometimes adding up to $50 or a significant percentage, whichever is more. Of course, we know that with XRP and XLM, we now have the ability to send value of any kind globally and receive it in seconds, all while costing less than a fraction of a cent. This alone would clear out the need for both payment service providers and Nostro accounts. If you guys don't know what a Nostro account is, they're used by banks and they lock funds in an account to ensure that there's liquidity in times of cross-currency transfers. Using XRP, banks no longer need Nostros for locked spare liquidity for large transfers. They can use XRP as a bridge currency for sending value across different banks' national currencies. In this statement alone is really the bread and butter of this post right here. The freeing up of Nostro account liquidity is huge. A lot of these banks hold hundreds of millions of dollars, if not billions, locked in these Nostro accounts for these long 2-day cross-border payments. And do you think a bank would like to take that money, earn a few percent on that money, those billions of dollars? Or do you think they want to keep it locked up in a Nostro account where it's earning no money? That's the business of a bank. They take your money and they get more money from the Federal Reserve. They leverage it up and then they make returns on that money. With XLM, people can send money to their friends and family around the world without the worry of intermediaries like PayPal ripping off fees or worse yet, locking your funds. So he's giving us the narrative that XRP is for these institutional cross-border entities. XLM, it's for you, it's for me, it's for sending money to our friends. While we're still in the early phases, they have a team of superstars from the world of payments. Some of their executive backgrounds involve companies like Visa, Swift, PayPal, MasterCard, Uber, Goldman Sachs. Again, still much earlier than XRP and XLM, but their vision does show a lot of promise. And now he's going to go on to talk about this token, WTK. I've not heard about it, so I'm not going to harp on that. If you guys have, maybe let me know in the comment section below. Crypto OG, this is probably one of the most respected polarizing guys in crypto. Arthur Hayes, he founded BitMEX. He's the chief investment officer of Maelstrom Fund. And this guy did a 3-hour interview. He's a very intelligent person, much more intelligent than me. And instead of giving you the whole 3-hour interview, there's a great thread here breaking down the best pieces of information again. Okay. 1, the Federal Reserve will print money again. This is called yield curve control. It's when the Fed is basically going to create bonds and assets to target a lower interest rate. He's betting on AI being a big narrative pump and dump, and he advises the barbell strategy for now. I'll explain what that is. A barbell is when you're 80% in cash and bonds and have 10% in crypto, 10% in gold. So you're making money yield until the big money printing event. But this is because Arthur's Bitcoin target is $750K to $1 million. So he doesn't care if Bitcoin is at 50K when he has to go all in. Of course, there will be big problems if you do this and Bitcoin doesn't hit 750K, but instead stops at 80K and then round trips back to 30K. You also run into issues if altcoins get bought up earlier. Remember, markets are getting smarter and faster each cycle. The more institutional money, the more smart money coming into crypto. It's not just retail investors like you and me anymore. These market makers create the charts. Arthur is very bullish on altcoins because in the traditional world, there's a 7-year delay before startup can get liquidity. But in altcoins, you can get it instantly. And this makes it very fun for all of us in the casino. He will be focusing on artificial intelligence. He speaks of euphoria eventually coming again. Be ready to sell. This is a big mistake in the last bull market a lot of people didn't do. They could have sold the top, and instead they held tokens that went down 90, 95, 99%. And then eventually a bust cycle, bear market again, and a Great Depression event appears again in the world economy. The government playbook is already written before. The central bank, the U.S. Federal Reserve, will buy the government debt at a level below the GDP so they can profit from it. This causes financial oppression to the citizens of the nation. The poorer you are, the more inflation hurts. Poor people have high expenditure on energy consumption, so they will constantly take super risky bets on altcoins to compensate and make an impact on their net worth. They know they can't earn their way out of slavery. Still bullish on crypto. Without government intervention, it still survived. Lots of money was lost, but the network is still there. Builders, developers in the community still here. Bullish for 2024. A good find here from Mr. Man XRP talking about the metaverse. We kind of saw that metaverse trend already born and die. However, McKinsey, one of the largest management consulting firms, most well-respected, it's up there with Boston Consulting Group, one of the top 3. They have forecasted the metaverse to be worth $5 trillion. And keep in mind, Ripple dives deep into the metaverse with a $54 million investment. This was 3 months ago. Take a listen to this short clip.
We are all grappling with since.
Never mind, my sound setting is messed up on my laptop. Sorry, I'll be returning home to my desktop pretty soon. But as of right now, the recording's a little bit scuffed. If you guys made it to the end of the video, comment metaverse in the comment section below. I do appreciate your support on this channel. God bless you all. Take care of yourselves. Take care of your families. Until next time.